Hi guys, French Repair here. So, new video. There was a new update, with some update. Not as big as I expected. I expected possibly a new Mastermind. That would have been the best option for me. And for a lot of people, I believe. Because that would have been game changing, like very game changing. Not to say what they did is not game changing, they put two new variants for every Mastermind and every Survivor, which is kind of game changing, right? I can't deny that. And they also put some new skins, but it's only recolors, sadly. So it's nice though. I appreciate the new content. It's free. It's awesome. We all expected like a new survivor or mastermind. Anyways, two new variants for every mastermind and survivor. On this video, I will just cover the mastermind side. I will do another video about the survivors. So, I will try to tell you a little bit like what you can do with those new variants, analyze what's written here, okay? What you can do with it, what are the possibilities you can have. I will not show you complete builds because I didn't make any yet and the video would be too long if I do so, okay? I will definitely make some new builds with every mastermind here. Just because, yeah, alright. And I can give you some examples. So let's start with the first one. alot V-Act. So keep in mind that you don't have recovery, buffs, or defense, especially defense, which is very strong these days, So it's kind of, if you want to use V-Act or any new variants, you have to make sure it's better than this, for example, alright? So perfect creatures no longer pretend to be dead. That's something which should be in the game, right? How can an undead creature pretend to be dead? Anyways, okay, that's how the game is. Get up quickly after falling to the ground. That sounds good. So that sounds like well, sadly you will not be able to have defense, but I guess you need Okay, I guess you need enhancement because that doesn't work with the dogs and lickers, so that doesn't work with the other new variants. So you will need enhancement to greatly increase creature HP, because what it says here is after creatures fall to the ground, which means they have been hit already, which means they got damaged already. So I would say regen will be a good thing, Like you need regen in this deck because your creature needs to be able to get hit, fall to the ground, get up, and they can damage your creature. While this is happening, they can still damage your creature while it's getting up. So your creature will be able to withstand all of this damage, then get up and then actually do something again. So I would say if you have a horde of creatures, this could be good because they will keep getting up, and they can't get knocked back. With the shotgun meta, I would say if you don't have defense, which you will not have, that's going to be very hard to make this happen, to make a creature like get up and come back to the fight and not being dead, sadly. Become impossible to knock back. Yeah, that sounds good, but maybe, I don't know, yeah. That sounds very good, that's my point. It sounds good, but not very good. Like, defense in those days is very, very good. It's very powerful, everyone knows it, alright? So it sounds really good and funny and interesting. You could probably, okay, not with this deck, then it's my actual deck, trap on it. Alright, so yeah, this for example could be interesting right there. With this I can get 8 creatures on the ground every 30 seconds. That's the breed which everyone is using at the moment, or something close. So it could be interesting if you want your horse to keep going after the survivors, but not having defense, bad. So why not? But personally, I don't have any awesome ideas about it. I just know that you have to use it with creatures. It doesn't synergize with dogs or lickers because they don't fall and make people think they are dead, sadly. So that's kind of bad. Epsilon Strain greatly increases zombie dog and licker health and attack power. This right here means that will buff your dogs and your lickers, which also means you don't get to buff your zombies with that, for example, which buffs every creature HP. So this variant was made especially for people who wants to use mostly dogs or lickers. Now that's the whole point. What I see here is a sort of a main build with only dogs and lickers. That can be very powerful. I think that doubles the damage from your zombie dogs and lickers. Maybe not double, but at least 50% more damage from them. This is actually good with my trap build, which I'm using because, as you can see, dog. What else? Dogs. Yeah, I could possibly use this now. Okay. So I'm definitely using this for my hybrid trap build with Anet. Like white array, no hesitation here. I was using this for more, so it costs less. So basically, my dogs cost 1, and first dogs cost 3. So I was able to rely on traps most of the time because my creatures cost nothing, and when infected they do something cool. So I think that could be good for hybrid builds, possibly, and for meme builds. Maybe not meme, I mean, lickers and dogs can be very good, right? Not the best, but okay. That's the whole idea behind it. Now, Daniel. Unnatural selection and mind over matter. So, increases the range of the detonator's self-destruct. It's something that everyone is kind of complaining about. The range is not big enough, so they kind of fixed it, but with a passive skill. So okay, that's good. And the Jester Screech, and makes the dealer close latch steal more umbrella credits. Now I will read the second description, like this one. Greatly decreases creature's skill cooldown when controlled. So this is buffing detonators, jesters, and dealers. Okay. Every time you scream with the jester, I mean you use the screech, there is a cooldown of maybe I think 10 seconds, maybe 15, which is kind of long. So if you combine this and this, okay, you could possibly make some kind of a jester deck, alright? Like you could rely on jesters, for example. Like you could, I mean, you can have like a jester and scream every I would say 5 seconds, possibly, maybe a little more. So that's very good if you like to rely on jesters. That could be a very good thing. If you want to make a dealer build with a bunch of dealers, you can definitely fuck up with their economy, survival's economy, by stealing a lot of credits from them. So yeah, I think that's a fun idea. Thing is, if you use this and this both, you don't get endurance or invincible. So I guess you have to rely. Well, if you are using a dealer, you will have to rely on the surprise effect to be able to get a grab, because they will be able to knock your creature, which is very bad. Or you will have to rely on the Jester Scream to actually get something from him too. Same idea, right? So this is kind of difficult, in my opinion, if you want to use both. Maybe relying on one of them is good. This is also good for the chain biting. Like people have been complaining about chain biting. Like basically the idea is you control a zombie, you bite a survivor. You control a second zombie, you bite a survivor again. And that makes it even better because the cooldown between the grabs used to be I think 10 seconds too. maybe 8. It doesn't matter. So yeah, that's the whole idea behind those two things. If you like Jester, that makes Jesters and yeah, Jesters, Detonators, and Dealers a lit a bit better, right? A better option than they used to be. Like having a Jester only deck is kind of okay, but not very good. With those new variants, it could be good, alright? So that's the idea behind it. Alex. T-Phobos prototype. The more infected the survivors are, the more damage they receive from all sources. What I read here, infection, damage. It sounds simple to me. I guess you need infection in your equipment and the damage increase, alright? Okay, that was just a fun thing. But yeah. So if you want to use this the right way, you will have to make a build which is about infection, so infecting them first and then dealing damage to them. The numbers. With T-Phobos prototype, you deal, if they are tier 3 poisoned, you can deal 2 times more damage to them. So, the max amount of damage you can do with a trap if you use every damage equipment like this. Like I'm about to show you, which was why I had this. You can deal with those 4 equipments, and if you track them with a tracker mine, you can deal 1050 damage with this high explosive landmine, which means you can deal around 2000 damage to a survivor which is infected to tier 3. That's big, right? One high explosive and you get 2000 damage. You can probably down the player with a landmine if he's tier 3 and you have all this shit here. I guess that could be very funny with Veil, possibly. If they don't see a trap and step on it, they are dead. Like badly, like bad dead person laying on the ground, you know, feeling really bad because he got killed by possibly a landmine, you know, which will deal around 1300 damage max, I would say. Yeah, maybe 1200 damage if they are tier 3. So that's about damage. You could also go with guns. Her guns, if survivors are infected to tier 2 or 3, are actually more powerful than Nikolai's. So she is a better gunner than Nikolai, possibly, you know, if you get to infect them. Her guns are crazy powerful. A body shot, instead of doing 50, will do 100, and that's insane. If you are playing with the high caliber rifle, you could deal around 900 damage for an headshot instead of I think 600, maybe it's 500. Well, you see the idea, right? So you can deal a ton amount of damage, and you can go with a gun build because guns do damage a lot. But I would go with traps because she has something. She has that, you know. Alex is about traps. She's good with traps. You can deal damage with traps pretty easily. Like this, for example. That would kill the 4 survivors right away if they are infected tier 1 or 2 and you have some damage. Alright, so now, what else? Oh yeah, synchronize. Traps no longer affect other traps or creatures. Which means, well, about traps. If you put an airburst next to an explosive landmine, for example, and you trigger the landmine, that will destroy the airburst, and sadly you will not get any effect from the airburst, which is very bad. So now you can activate them both at the same time, and it can be funnier, okay? Now creatures. I think the whole idea like behind no longer affect creatures is, let's say you corner a survivor with an airburst and you trigger it, and let's say there is a zombie very close, so you trigger the airburst, you control the zombie, and you beat the shit out of the survivor. You beat the shit out of him while he's being affected by the airburst. That's the whole idea. Very, very funny idea in my opinion. This could lead to very, very funny moments. Like crazy, crazy funny moments. Yeah, that's really the idea, I believe. Beating the shit out of a survivor when he's being hit by a trap, or about to, actually. I guess that could be kind of insane. Like, I think some funny things are going to come out from this, for sure. Is it very good? Uh, Not sure. Can it be very funny? Yeah, definitely. Now, little detail here. Machine gun infection deals 25 damage per shot. But let's say you infect a survivor. I mean, this machine gun infects a survivor, alright? So if you start shooting a survivor and start infecting him, the damage will increase from 25 to almost 50 if he's tracked 56. So this machine gun becomes just as good as a regular machine gun. So, like, from the moment you start using it and the end. So just think about that. Gun build synergizes with this thing here. So you could go with this, you know. Anyways, ideas again. Spencer. Impulse greatly decreases disintegration field cooldown when electromagnetic shield is active on any camera. So disintegration field cooldown. Okay. Okay, that could be good with this, since this decreases the cooldown too. Could be good with this too. Decreases cooldown. What else? Power limit amount decreases cooldown again. Okay, another thing for the cooldown. So Spencer is the guy who can get his ultimates the most often now. Okay, very simple idea. You get your ultimate skill more often, and who doesn't love it, right? That's a lovely idea. Oh, and yeah, electromagnetic shield is active, so you need obviously to use a shield, alright, to make this kind of work. Electromagnetic shield, okay. So I guess there is an equipment which nobody is using, but which could shine with this, no doubt. If I can find it. Okay, I'm having trouble finding this fucking equipment. Okay. Here. Moderately increases the duration of camera buffs. So the shield. That makes the shield longer, which means that synergizes with this, okay. And you could also go with wait. No, well, there is nothing else, okay. So yeah, that's it for that. Now, Paracelsus generator lowers the cost of all head cards at set intervals. I say this is for... yeah, this is for powerful builds with big cards, you know. Like the kind of playstyle you need to have with this is like maybe you need to play liquors or big cards or big guns and make a play every maybe 20-30 seconds, you know, so you can get the lower cost for your cards, you know. If you have an aggressive gameplay and you use a card every few seconds, that won't be an advantage. You need maybe zombies gameplay with hordes, so you can set them up at specific intervals. Okay, so that's the idea behind this. Like some sort of gameplay where you set up stuff every set amount of time. All right, Nikolai. UBCS monitor tracks survivors being attacked by creatures and lower their attack power. Watchdog automatically spawns a random creature nearby when using firearm cards. Everyone who played Mastermind for a decent amount of time tried Creature Nikolai. That's a very fun idea and everyone wanted this to happen. With those two on your skills, that's what they want us to do. I mean, they clearly did something very nice for everyone who tried this. So basic idea is you want to use an enhancer, like an enhancer, any of them, and by doing this you get a free creature. So you can get a tough zombie, which usually costs a 5 for a 1 cost. Because every time you use a firearm, so an enhancer is a firearm, you will get a creature or any of those cards. So Nikolai can now get creatures for a very, very, very low cost. He's maybe I think he's the best at this now, even better than Spencer, when it comes to economy and creatures with this thing here. Alright. So that's a whole idea here. Hybrid creatures breeds with obviously guns, because you still have to rely on guns. I mean, he's a gun guy, right? That would be a shame not to do so. But you can rely on creatures too. So that's a whole idea. And this could be very good, I think, because with the shotgun meta it's kinda hard to use creatures, but getting 1 hit is not that hard. 1 hit, okay, 1 claw attack is all it takes to track a survivor. This is much better than this thing here, for example, which doesn't work that well. Alright, so that's it. Those are my ideas, and yeah, well, little bits here, okay. This could be interesting. Thanks for watching. I hope that I did give you some interesting ideas, and that you will have fun with this new meta as a mastermind power. Thanks for watching, bye.